Hello and welcome back everyone to another episode of FPL Backbenchers. This is your host Somnath once again. Today we are recording on a Thursday, 9 September, 24 hours later than we intended. Tech issues, man. Seriously. Today I'm joined just by my co-host Ranajoy. Unfortunately, Anjan could not be present. So, Ranajoy, how was the international break for you?
It was good. I watched a lot of cricket, so I missed football, but I also watched a little bit of international. So yeah, decent.
A lot
And
of
in
banter
terms of
going around regarding
and
cricket and Twitter.
yes, and also I think we should ideally be recording this after 24 hours. We would have some more information in all this confusion that is going on regarding who is going to play. If Ronaldo should we should take Ronaldo or you should take BruNO. But let's see. I think we
Uh,
are recording 24 hours early in my opinion.
let's why not? Let's take a stab at it.
Yes, why not?
In any case, man, seriously, for me personally, the international break was too hard. I don't like such a long gap. I'm more of a continuum and momentum kind of a manager. I consider that as myself at least, which is why my favorite period to play FPL is during the Christmas and the festive period, where you don't have the game weeks are coming thick and fast. As the old poker saying goes, you think long, you think wrong. So yeah, I live by that.
I think the next
I'm
year's
really,
I think the next year World Cup is going to be in December, most probably.
I think it's in around November, right?
Yeah,
Not
November,
sure.
December. I'm sure that during that period you're going to die. Is that what you're saying?
I
How
think
are you going to
I'll
live
have
with
to manage
yourself during
my.
that period?
But yeah, at that point of time, I think the World Cup is there
You will play
to
World
cheer
Cup
me up.
fantasy.
I generally refrain from playing any other fantasy game apart from Fantasy Premier League. I don't see myself playing World Cup. Uh, but anyways, I mean, I'm so glad actually that we did a pod um, in between the international break where we covered extensively the Game Week 3 review and we were talking about all the transfers that happened on the deadline as well as the week leading up to it and how that affected the FPL scenario and as well as our wildcard iterations, how we'll be going or what all are the strategies and if it is the right time to wildcard.
I,
In
I,
case you guys want to check
I
it
think
out, we will send the link in the description. So do check it out if you want that extensive thing about it, right?
I think
I
this
mean,
2 weeks has been very exciting with all the transfers coming in, and especially the one transfer.
yeah,
But
true.
I think it's
But
time everyone returns back to football and actually seeing things happen on the
it's
pitch.
been too long, man. Yeah, it's been really long. I actually had to check our scores because I had forgotten what our scores were. I believe you scored, I think, 59 points in game week three,
Correct.
and I had scored 75 points. In there was a -8, so net total 67 points. Some captaincy came through for me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think
just to
decent game week.
yeah, had a decent game week, had a decent, nice rank jump as well. So that's why I hate the momentum breaking. Anyways, just to get our juices flowing, let's do a quick recap as to what has happened, what did happen in Game Week 3, because I myself have seemed to forgot. So I am sure many people will be in that boat. The first match of Game Week 3 was Manchester City against Arsenal. Ferran Torres had a huge haul of 18 points where he scored a brace and an assist. Even Tony owners finally got a goal from Even Tony, wherein they managed a draw against Villa at Villa Park. Uh, Everton won against Brighton at Brighton's home. It was 2-2 for Demarai Gray, and TCL again got a penalty as per usual. Newcastle and Southampton played out a draw against each other. There was a late drama for penalty
I
wherein
really
Richard
really
Cross.
think that that was a very interesting game because Southampton created so many chances. So I'm sure that
Very
many people
exciting.
would be looking at Southampton going forward.
I think their XG was second highest, or it was the
Yes,
highest. I'm not exactly clear for so long ago,
so it was
but
really a
it
good
was.
game.
Livramento was again sensational. True. After that, there was Norwich and Leicester. Leicester won. Jamie Vardy party, Party was on. People who captained him got a goal and assist from Vardy
just
for
before
I
the Man
think
City game.
11 pointer. Yeah, just before the Man City game.
He
West
always
Ham and
comes
Crystal
good
Palace
against Man City.
played an exciting. Yeah, West Ham and Palace played out an exciting stalemate 2-2. It was a goal-filled stalemate at the London Stadium. Antonio still going strong. He is looking sensational. He has already scored 40 FPL points this season. And Gallagher was a surprise package from Palace, scoring a brace. Also, just in case you guys are wondering, 5.5 million midfielder, just putting it out there. Liverpool were held to 1-1 draw by a 10-man Brazilian Chelsea performance. They were absolutely dominating till the time they went down. Reece James got a red card, but he also got an assist, so he had a net point total of 1 point. He will be missing game week 4 for anybody looking for that. Burnley and Leeds was also a draw, a 1-1 draw, where it was more of a nothing game, to be very honest.
It was a
Leeds were
lame
very
draw.
poor. I think it was a
It was
very
a
lame
very
draw.
lame. Yes,
Bamford got his goal very late. I think it's the first goal for Bamford this season, or it's the second goal. Sure.
I think it's the first
Uh,
goal.
Probably it's the first goal. Yeah, it's the first goal for him for this season. Anyways, for good for Bamford owners, Leeds are getting into an exciting run of fixtures, so yeah, something to consider there as well. Spurs were consistent again, as has been the trend, at least for this season. They have been resilient. They again won a 1-0 against Watford. Kane started. That was the highlight, and that was the major news for that particular match.
And a
Sun scored
Ronaldo less
another.
and a Ronaldo less Man United just managed to scrape through the last game 1-0 at Wolves. Wolves just hammered Man United on the day, but Man
Yeah,
United
I was about.
were lucky to have gone
Uh,
through this game unscattered. Good 3 points in my opinion.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was actually about to say that it's a wrong way to phrase that because Bulls were way exciting. I mean, they deserve
Yeah,
something from the match, but it was
that's
just a
good.
David De Gea show wherein
They
he
they
made a.
can take points off the other teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
De Gea made a billion save, so does not look like losing his spot right away. Right. So yeah, that's about it. That was game week 3 for you guys, in case you had forgotten, much like me. So I needed that recap. So now let's get into game week 4. And so yeah, what should we talk about? I think let's get into the topic that has basically been driving the entire FPL community bonkers throughout the international break, as well as people are still deliberating regarding a certain Portuguese forward, no, somebody, CR7, Cristiano Ronaldo coming back into Manchester United. So yeah, so let's ask our in-house Manchester United expert. So yeah, Ronja, what do we do about Cristiano Ronaldo?
It's easy. What do you expect? Take him in your team. You have to have him in your team.
Wow, I
I
mean,
think
like yeah, that's it. I guess, guys, spot done. Straight away answer. Let's take Ronaldo. Let's do it. Let's get up, guys. If you liked it, like and subscribe, and let's move on. Right?
yeah. Let's
Uh,
end the pod
but
for today. I'm leaving.
yeah, that's it. That's it. I mean, what do you want to do? Get Ronaldo in. That's it. End of the story.
However you want to do.
There is not much. There's not much argument regarding this, but still, let's try to present some argument. I don't know if it's for or against Ronaldo, but I would like to present some argument since I myself am not 100% convinced that Ronaldo is the best player in the world. So let me ask you, like, how do you think this Ronaldo move and Cristiano coming back into Manchester United this entirely affects the gameplay? I believe you did a thread on Twitter as well, wherein you discussed the pros and cons. So if you can just highlight that first, and then we'll get a bit more into detail.
So in terms of gameplay, it will definitely be a lift to all the players. These players had grown up watching Ronaldo in the first initial years when he was absolutely sensational, and getting to play with him would automatically lift the game of each and every player. In terms of FPL, yes, I did write a pod covering if Ronaldo is going to start the game. In terms of why he will start the game, my reasons were the fact that he's not played football for a good amount of 1 week. He's been training since I think Tuesday or Wednesday, and he came to Manchester after having given the next game off against I think Qatar. So he was quite early back to Manchester. And again, both Solskjaer and Cristiano had mentioned that they are not. Cristiano has not come back to the club to sit on the bench, and Cristiano himself, I think, reiterated the fact by saying that he is wondering, he's looking forward to starting the first game. In terms of arguments against it, the things that I mentioned were that Ronaldo, at an age of 36, has very limited preseason. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I hope or I think, will just ease him into the side. But we saw that he played 111 minutes against one of the teams in the international, and he was sensational, scored 2 goals near the end of the game. My other argument towards not Ronaldo not playing this game is the fact that United are due to give Cavani his first start. I think came off the bench in the last game, and he is due his first start. He also came away with the number 7 shirt. So in order to just ensure that he is motivated enough and he is not sulking in on the bench, I think United will give him his first start and bring Ronaldo him on for him at some later point. I was also hoping that Ronaldo would be, brought on at the beginning of the game in terms of showing to the crowd, and which automatically lift the crowd. But just before this pod on Twitter, United have released a video in which Ronaldo comes onto the pitch and says, "It's home." So I'm confused. But I do believe that Ronaldo is not going to start the first game. If I were Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I would not have started not started him on the first game and just kept him in my armory and bring him at a time when maybe the game is already decided, or he has to come and decide the game, which is what Ronaldo plays for. I think that is his strength. I think that's about the monologue from my end.
Well,
Sorry.
no, that's actually pretty informative. First of all, I would like to say like Manchester United are really milking in the Ronaldo factor in social
Oh,
media, right?
they have to
So
earn
they
all the
are
money
doing
back. Yes.
some photo, some video. Yeah. So they are probably thinking of earning all the money back that they have spent on Ronaldo. Actually, what as a as a neutral person or as a FPL fan, what I my wonderment is like Ronaldo has not really played a competitive game with Manchester United in that sense. I mean, Cristiano Ronaldo for the past 8-9 years, we know he plays a certain style. I mean, he is not somebody who is tracking back, dropping down, and creating. So he is playing usually with another supporting striker or some form of runner in that sense, right? So Manchester United right now, I mean, as far as we have seen, at least under Solskjaer, they do not particularly play in that particular style, right? So do you think like without an actual match wherein he's not eased into, they will be getting and starting him from the first minute itself, wherein the team might be they have practiced, but a real match and a practice match is totally completely different, right? So wherein I mean, considering how tight the league is with Chelsea and City and everybody, closing the gaps, do you think they will be risking wherein they start with Ronaldo, wherein the team is not comfortable with that particular formation or that particular style as such?
So that is primarily one of the reasons I do think Ronaldo is not going to start the game. But even if he does, Ronaldo is at this age will not be playing on either of the wings. He'll be playing as the focal point. The main United usually play a 4-2-3-1. He is going to be the one uh, striker,
Precisely, yeah.
uh, and and the point about the other team feeling not comfortable with Ronaldo being in the 11, I do not think that will matter. Like I said, the entire group is excited to play with Ronaldo, so they would rather have him on the pitch than off the pitch, because they would automatically have someone to give the ball to, and they know that Ronaldo's finishing skills are second to none. So I don't think that is an issue that we should be bothered about.
Yeah, that is what I would believe. The entire team would be buying into the Ronaldo hype as well, along with. I mean, even these people who are playing in the team, they are also fans of Cristiano Ronaldo,
All
right?
Ronaldo fans,
Much
yes.
like the world.
I think
Yeah, so
even
everybody is a Ronaldo fan.
Townsend from Everton was talking about the fact that he's excited to be in the same league or excited to play alongside Ronaldo. So I think there is a lot of hype.
True.
Teams are looking forward to
So there,
playing against him or playing, and United players are looking forward to playing with him. So I don't think that will be a major issue, in my opinion.
yeah, so that in that sense, you might argue that everybody would be trying to get the ball into Ronaldo in that sense, or if at all United are getting a penalty, I don't know who would be the designated penalty taker. I mean, stats and logic dictates it should be BruNO because he has a much better penalty record than Cristiano Ronaldo. But I still feel, I mean, if they do get a penalty, BruNO will be actually handing over the ball to Cristiano Ronaldo for him to get the first goal at Old Trafford. That is what my belief is, right? Speaking
I, do,
about
I, I
BruNO
don't
again,
think I don't think it will be that simple, because
I don't see any
I
scenario where Bruno is fighting with Cristiano Ronaldo for the ball
no,
for a
no.
penalty.
Obviously, I do not see him fighting for the ball with Cristiano Ronaldo, but I do hope that Solskjaer announces internally within the team that Bruno's the first penalty taker, because Bruno's penalty record has been sensational. He has missed one or two penalties in the last, in the last games that he has, in all the games that he has played for Man United. So to take the penalties off him and give it to his international captain and a club legend, if I could say so, does will not be very bad. But I do hope that Solskjaer doesn't make that decision. He keeps it with Bruno, and I shouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that Bruno Fernandes is taking the penalties for Manchester.
I don't buy that. I don't think his stature is too high not to actually give the penalty to him. I absolutely right now cannot see any scenario wherein Cristiano Ronaldo is not getting the penalty for Manchester United. But then again, that will become clearer as United do get a penalty and they move forward. Speaking about BruNO, I
And
mean, it's a nice segue into speaking about BruNO. BruNO Fernandes, probably for maximum FPL teams, is the way through that they are looking forward as to how to get Cristiano Ronaldo in the first place, other than people who are wildcarding. And even if people are wildcarding, they are sacrificing Bruno Fernandes. So here on the screen, we have stats for Bruno Fernandes from last season, right? I'll just read it out to you. He had taken 121 shots for the entire season, out of which 48 were from inside the box. So primarily, we can understand that he is somebody who shoots from outside the box or there are long range goals, right? He had a big chance. He had 20 big chances, where with an XG of 17.64, and wherein he actually scored 18 goals for the season. He had an expected assist of 13.41 or 14 assists for the season, right? So his stats and his output are pretty much matching. Interesting thing though is if we take his non-penalty XG, we remove the penalty aspect of the expected stats, it's just 10, right? So there is a overperformance in that sense via stat and his goal. There are 8 goals that are overperformed, and United actually got 9 goals in the Premier League last season, right? So my
nine
question is,
penalties.
he ended with 9 penalties. So he actually had 244 points for the last season, wherein 36 points of those came from bonus. So if you remove those 9 goals, right, which presumably if it's going to Cristiano Ronaldo, so that's 45 points gone there. And again, we can easily assume since that's half the quota of his goal, let's assume for argument's sake that half his bonus points also goes. So that's roughly around 60 odd points. So the general output with considering the clean sheet, okay, they got 13 clean sheet last season. Let's increase that. Probably United will be getting a bit more higher, like 17, 18 clean sheet, right? So if you add on 1 point, so it actually is coming to around uh, 180, 190 point, which if you look at point per million, it's just 4.76 to 5 points per game. So I understand a lot of people are in rush to get Bruno out for the particular game week. because obviously penalty is a huge factor for his game. But do you think it is viable to actually ship him out at home against Newcastle? Because a lot of people are in that dilemma.
I personally don't believe so. I really do believe that Bruno Fernandes is going to start. Obviously, he's going to start the game, and with the uncertainty in Ronaldo, playing the first game, 90 minutes of the first game, I think it does make a case of Bruno Fernandes, you keeping Bruno Fernandes in your team, and especially with the fact that a lot of players are getting banned for this game week, the likes of Jimenez and Rafinha, whom many people own, you might have to use your free transfer somewhere else. So I think that is one. But having said that, just to counter your point, if you remember when Cristiano Ronaldo played with Rooney, he automatically the number of goals that Rooney was scoring at that point of time also went up. So even if Bruno's not taking the penalties, which is 9 penalties, he will get a lot of goals. But I do agree to the fact that maybe for a 12 million player, that does not make sense. But just in
Yeah,
case, just in case Ole Gunnar Solskjaer keeps him on penalties, be assured that he's going to be as good a player as Ronaldo because he will also score more goals. He will also score more assists, and Bruno Fernandes
I
might
think
be
he'll
the
get
first.
more assists.
And I think Bruno Fernandes would be the main man if just in case Ole Gunnar Solskjaer keeps him on penalties.
Yeah, the
So
problem basically,
for me, it is a wait and watch. If you do not have him in your team, don't take him. If you have him in your team, I would take a chance and keep him on for one more game week to just see what is the dynamics being played at the club, and then take a decision at the end of the game week. And that would be my personal strategy.
yeah, the problem with that is if you remove, obviously, if Bruno holds his penalties, and definitely he's an FPL monster. We all agree to that. But if you take out the penalty aspect of him, and if we are looking at around 5 points per game week, he does not really remain a captainable option because those 180, 190 points probably Sun can give you at 2 million
No, I
less,
agree.
wherein that 2
He,
million can be
he
reinvested.
definitely doesn't. Because one of the main reasons you would
Yeah,
want to choose a Man United player is the penalties. If Cristiano Ronaldo is taking it, you're already engaging 12.5 million of your budget with Ronaldo, and with so many premium options available in this season,
true.
I also do not think it's viable to keep Bruno Fernandes in the team for a 12 million and spend 12 million on him. So I quite agree with you there, Shomar.
Okay, barring Bruno also, I mean, let us look at the aspects. I mean, like much like me, I have probably I don't own Bruno at this point, right? I own Greenwood. So my question to you is like a two-part thing. One is from a footballing aspect, wherein I would like to ask, do you feel as a Manchester United fan that getting Ronaldo in actually is hindering the growth of the players at Manchester United, or it is helping? And secondly, I feel I don't see any scenario where Ronaldo is playing any other position apart from being the forward. So that is again one less position for Greenwood to play, wherein he cannot be playing forward, or at least if Solskjaer is changing the formation, then probably he becomes a forward option. But that essentially states that he will be playing in the wing. So FPL wise, how do you see that affecting Greenwood's output? That's it.
I think the first question first in terms of what would be the Ronaldo effect on the growth of the players. I think Dan James had to be sacrificed because I'm sure that if Ronaldo had not come into the club, Dan James would have been kept in the club as one of the options. But in terms of players who are remaining in the club, the Rashfords, the Marshalls, the Greenwoods.
Uh, uh, sorry, I'm interrupting. I mean, I even heard. I don't know if it was an article in Athletic. It's a rumor or it's confirmed thing. I don't know. I even heard that Donny Van de Beek is actually thinking of moving to Everton, right? Because that's what his agent is actually propagating. Because by Ronaldo coming in, it actually hinders his growth as well. So, do you feel it was a smart move by
So
United to
so
get him
re,
in
so
as a 10?
realistically speaking, Van de Beek's and Ronaldo's position are not are totally different. Van de Beek for United would one of the areas where Van de Beek plays is the number 10 area. which where Bruno Fernandes is currently playing. So Van de Beek automatically becomes an option as the number 10, and he also becomes he's also an option in the number 6 position as a part of the defensive midfield too. So having telling that bringing Ronaldo in hampers his growth is not something which I'm buying. And and going back to the initial question that you asked in terms of how Ronaldo would affect the other players. Ronaldo is not a normal player.
Like Martial, Cavani.
Martial's and Cavani's chances are going
Yes,
to
like Martial,
diminish.
Cavani.
Martial's and Cavani's chances are going to diminish. There is no doubt on that. But this is Cavani's last season, so obviously Cavani will be leaving after this, and players like Martial, Rashford, and Greenwood, who are the young stars at Man United, will only their careers will only be helped by Cristiano Ronaldo. Look, Cristiano Ronaldo has been in football for so many years, and he has been an exceptional professional. And these players getting to watch him train, watch his lifestyle, watch the way he conducts himself, both on and off the pitch, should be just a treat. And every one of these players should just soak in this information that Ronaldo is going to give him. And to add to that, Ronaldo coming at Man United was more of a commercial decision also. Number one, no one would have wanted to see Ronaldo at Man City if that rumor was true. And Ronaldo coming back at Man United helps Man United, the Man United brand across the world. The owners did a similar thing in the US where they own a football team and they bought Brady in and they won the championship that year. Tom Brady in and they won the championship that year. They bought a 43-year-old MVP. I think they're trying something similar to that. They're bringing Ronaldo in, not at his prime, but still he's scored more goals than Lukaku in the Serie A last season. So he's still not that bad, and it's only a win-win situation for Manchester United. There is no doubt into that because Man United want. So we also see. I'm getting carried away, but we also see that Man United have been losing the final games. They've been reaching the semi-finals. They've been reaching the finals, and they've been losing that game. Ronaldo is going to bring in that mentality where he can single-handedly take the team over the line. So it's just a win-win situation for the club.
And the second part of the question
And the second
for
part,
Greenwood owners, like
I think
how does it
Greenwood
affect Greenwood? I mean,
I
how do
think
you feel?
Greenwood still remains a viable option, especially due to his price. Greenwood especially has till now has been playing on the right side and occasionally coming forward. I think he will still do the same because under when Ronaldo used to play at the club, if in the 2010s and 2011s, we saw that United had the liberty to go forward. It was Berbatov, Rooney, Ronaldo, three strikers, Tevez, four strikers were playing at the same time, and all of them were going forward. So and Ole is obviously a student
2009.
of Ole is obviously a student of Sir Alex Ferguson, and I see him replicating everything that Sir Alex is doing had done in terms of strategy, in terms of the style of play. So I personally do not see any reason why why the other players in terms of Rashford, Greenwood's FPL chances are going to be hampered, given the fact that they play. Obviously, Martial will now become not at least a lesser option because of the fact that he might get a little less game time. Oh, I also forgot Sancho.
Probably will be getting Carabao and all stuff.
Yes, I also forgot
Yeah, I
Sancho.
was coming on to Sancho because
Sancho will also get a lot
Sancho
of
is
assists.
again
Both
another competition to Greenwood, right? And eventually, when Rashford comes in, I don't see Sancho overtaking Rashford's position in that sense.
I think there are
So then it be,
four players for two positions. So it's Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, and Sancho for the two wings. And in between you have Bruno Fernandes and Van de Beek, obviously. If I hope I'm not missing anyone. And at the back you have McTominay, Fred, Van de Beek. Van de Beek can play either of those two positions. So
yeah,
I do
I
not.
think the back six is pretty settled. What people are basically wondering is how this thing plays out in the wing, right? As per what I feel, generally, since I am a Greenwood owner, I feel right away, right now, Greenwood's position, considering what he has done over the last 3 game weeks, it's secured. So there's
It's
no need to
absolute.
panic. No need to panic absolutely right away.
Just yet, yes.
Probably what happens is eventually if He is not in those goal scoring positions as well due to Ronaldo, but probably his assist potential goes up. And as Ronaldo pointed out, the price point is important. I mean, he is not costing you as high as a BruNO probably. So there is an equation where you can actually keep him, right? Uh, circling back to BruNO, so people are removing BruNO, and essentially what they are doing is they are getting rid of BruNO, taking a budget midfielder, right?
Yes.
And they are updating one of the forwards, be it Danny Ings. For some, it is the third forward who was dead, and they are updating that. For some, it is some other forward that they are thinking of upgrading, right? So what we have done is we thought, why don't we look at certain budget midfield options that are there. So for people who are actually wildcarding or people who are actually thinking of going about it, uh, to have an informed choice. Uh, we have actually narrowed it down to, I think, 10 players. Sorry, 11 players, right? So the players that we are considering are, you can say, the upper range where we are looking from 5.5 million to 7.5 million in FPL. Ferran Torres is an option. He has been playing out of position for a team like Manchester City. He has scored exceptionally well, right? He is the highest for big chances created, along with Diogo Jota in this bracket, right? And he has the second highest number of points as per in this bracket in this midfield region. He has 23 points against an expected point of 17.8. So he is not actually overperforming in stats. He is on par with it, and you are getting a City forward at 7.1. That's amazing, out of position forward who's playing midfielder. Mason Greenwood, we have already spoke about in length. He has scored 3 goals in 3 games, right? He's bang on form. It's interesting to actually see how that pans out once Cristiano is back into the team.
I think before you go on to the next player, the one thing which I would like to mention about Ferran Torres is the fact that uh, I was little I was little confused if I should consider Ferran Torres as an FPL option for this game week, simply due to the fact that he has started most of the last 3 or 4 internationals, and also for the games against for Man City. Sorry.
Yeah, he has started
So
all 3 international games.
all 3 internationals. So that is one of the reasons I was considering not to considering him not for this game week. But having said that, with the fact that some players are banned, like the likes of Jesus for Man City are banned, I do think that Ferran Torres will start this game again and probably get his deserved rest in the Champions League game. Who do Man City play in this first Champions League game? Do you have a or or
I,
I think Ferran Torres is sorry, yeah. Who do Man City play?
I think it would be Leipzig. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, okay. So that again is a big game. So that is also one of the reasons I was not considering him. I was more thinking that he's going to be rested this game and he's going to play the game against Leipzig. So that makes
Yeah,
it
see,
little
because what's interesting is that in all the 3 international that he has started, he has scored in all of them. So he's bang in form. The problem is they play Leicester, I think, and after that it's Leipzig, and then again it's Southampton. So that is 3 games in a period of 7 days, right? And we knowing Pep and Pep Roulette, uh, it's more or less certain that he will be benched into one of those games, right? So preferably people who are targeting Ferran Torres for the juicy fixture against Southampton, uh, eventually might be
be
that is the
aware,
game that he
beware.
that he yeah that he misses, right? And also before potting, I mean Brendan Rodgers' press conference came in, so he said actually that uh, they are on road to fitness, Vestergaard and Johnny Evans. So that considerably bolsters their defense, which was really
And
leaky in the
Ricardo
first
Pereira
few.
also seems to be returning.
Yeah, I think he said barring James Justin and Wesley Fofana, everybody is fit, but the recovery progress for Johnny Evans and Vestergaard needs to be monitored. More or less, I do see them starting because it's an important match. It's against one of the big teams. I don't see them not starting that particular match. So probably that might not be easy, but mostly the factor is that you got to keep that Champions League game in mind. So there is a chance that he might eventually miss the fixture where I actually do believe if he plays against Southampton, he's actually a captainable candidate for that particular game. But
No doubt
that's
about
something
it.
to keep in mind. Uh, Moving on to the next midfielder, I think right he should be in the priority in the sense Jurgen Klopp's presser also came in. wherein he said that Firmino is not fit, which essentially absolutely nails Diego Jota. So that's the next player that we're talking about. Diego Jota is actually, again, he had three big chances, which is the joint highest along with Ferran Torres in this particular bracket. He has the highest XG, right? Considering the number of shots that he has taken is considerably less than others. He has an XG of 1.64. He has a non-penalty XG plus expected assist of 1.97. He has already scored 2 goals, and in that particular Liverpool formation with their fullbacks and all, I do see it being a brilliant option. I think Liverpool have three very good offensive fixtures in that sense. They start off with Leeds, and I think the next fixture is Palace. I don't exactly remember what's the third fixture, but they have
Brentford.
yeah, Brentford. Actually, it's a promoted team, so they have a beautiful block of three fixture. And if you have the budget, I would say the priority should be to get Diego Jota at this point of time. Considering Firmino is not playing, he's almost certain to play this particular match. Even if does come back, I think Klopp will be prioritizing him starting in Champions League matches because he does not like starting Jota in big matches. Right? So that is
A very interesting rumor or whatever you call it has come on Twitter with the fact that since Robertson has started 4 games in the last 11 days, there is a rumor that Klopp might start Simicas. So that is also
so.
a good thing for people like me who have put their trust in Simicas and do not have the option of downgrading Simicas to Jota directly without a hit.
Yeah,
So I
it's
hope,
a catch 22 kind of a situation because people who, I mean, at this point we can agree that everybody probably has Mo Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold. So people who eventually went for Simicas initially, they will have to they have to do two transfer, which essentially will
but
come to a
then
hit or a minus.
Simi,
Yeah,
but then we are hoping that Simicas does return in terms of FPL this game week.
yeah, absolutely. But everything aside, I think he is a brilliant option. Diego Jota up front in a Liverpool
I agree
setup
with you.
where they are going for goals, absolutely brilliant.
He will score
Uh,
if he plays. Simple as that.
yeah, yeah. Next is Rafinha. I will talk about Rafinha a little later because, including Rafinha, there is a lot of thing that needs to be discussed, right? Bukayo Saka is again an option. People who are a bit budget constrained, right? He comes in at 6.3 million right now. He does not have much stats to show about it, but then again, Arsenal itself do not have much stats to show about it. They are going on a beautiful run of fixtures from this particular game week, starting with Norwich, right? And I think the run continues till game week 11. So it's a good considerable amount of run. You can be almost be rest assured that Bukayo Saka is nailed on in that particular team. The next midfielder is Adama Traore, and I'm sure uh, he is somebody that we are actually excited about. Ranajoy, everybody. I mean, we have been talking about Traore and Bulls in general in the last couple of pods, right? He has had the maximum number of shots in this bracket of midfielders that we are looking. He has a non-penalty XG plus expected assist of 2, which is again marginally beaten by Ben Rama, right? So he has been somebody who has been in sensational form. Even if you look at it, expected points again versus his actual points that he has got, which is 6 points, there's a huge variance, right? Because Wolves have lost all the three matches 1-0, and they got a billion chances, which somehow Traore or somebody could not convert. So if you are sticky, I mean, stuck with budget, you are looking at that 6 million, 6.5 million bracket. Adama is a brilliant option. If that also in that same range, I mean, needless to say, if Ben Rama again is a very good option. In saying that, just be careful. This game week they have Southampton. The next game week onwards, next game week I think it's Manchester United. After that it is against Leicester. So those are not comparatively very good fixtures for Ben Rama or Fornals. But again, they play Manchester United at their home, so you can see goals in that. Ben Rama actually has been in sensational form. He has been from the start of the season. I'm lucky to own him, but that's there. Another player who is in form, if you are stuck for budget even more, is Demari Gray. He's still 5.5 million Ranajoy, or he's 5.6.
I think
I think
I do not remember, but I think he's risen in price.
I think he'll be coming in at 5.5 or 5.6 million. He is looking bang in form. As I said, he has scored 2 goals in two. Even if I mean, he's somebody that probably, even if he's not scoring the goals, considering DCL and Richarlison playing up front, uh, he is supposed to get a lot of assists, and he's pretty direct. So I mean, as of now, it's still
And very cheap.
and very cheap. So if you are stuck for budget, he is somebody who is a brilliant option. Lastly, we will talk about Rafinha. Rafinha is now an interesting proposition because Rafinha originally does not have a very good fixture in Game Week 4 itself. So there is no instant gratification in that sense because he's facing Liverpool. But in saying that, Rafinha, along with I think 8 other Brazilian players, would be banned for this particular game week, right? So people who are not aware about what is the fiasco that is going on regarding Brazilian players, I will just let you know. So 8 of these Brazilian players have been reported by their particular countries, football federation, and they have gone to FIFA and asked these players to be banned once the international window is over for 5 days, which basically includes that they will not be able to participate in Game Week 4. Players included in this are Rafinha, obviously. Liverpool will suffer in the sense Firmino is injured nonetheless, but Alisson will not be able to play, right?
So
Uh,
is Fabinho.
so is Firmino. Nonetheless, he's injured.
Fabinho. Fabinho.
Fabinho, yeah, sorry. Fabinho is also there. For Manchester City, it's Gabriel Jesus and Ederson, their keeper. So just stating that Scott Carson is for 4.0.
4.0. So if you're playing your
Yes.
bench boost or free
Yeah.
hit,
So if you're looking
just
for a
take him.
1 week punt, and if you're playing a wild card, you can take Scott Carson. He's a 4 million goalkeeper that you can get playing for Manchester City. Barring this, I think Richarlison has been excused because they have not asked Richarlison to be banned since Everton were okay with leaving Richarlison for the Olympics. So Richarlison will actually be playing, but Rafinha is banned. Now from game week 5, if you look on, Leeds have a beautiful run of fixtures, right? So it's a catch-22 situation. If you're bringing in Rafinha right now, you need to have a strong bench so that they can cover Rafinha. He is still at 6.5 million, I think. Going forward, going long term, he's the best option. So if you're wildcarding, I will definitely suggest to take Rafinha, even though he's not playing this game week, because uh, Leeds will eventually, as we know, Leeds, they will score a lot of goals. And Rafinha, the way he plays and uh, position he plays in, and his interplay with Bamford is brilliant. I mean, you cannot see goals or assists not coming along his way,
But
right?
if you also wait till Saturday, I think things are going to be a little more clear because the teams have requested or requested FIFA for some, for overturning the bans. So just in case that decision comes on before Saturday, those of all who playing the wild cards can definitely bring him for this game week itself because if you remember last year it was 4-3 Liverpool leads. So I do believe that there is goals in this game in this fixture. But
I'm glad that
also,
you brought this up. I mean, this disclaimer we cannot give enough for this particular game week. If you guys can wait as long as you can to make your transfers. For people who are wildcarding, probably it will not be a problem. But wait as long as you can. I mean, presses will be over by tomorrow. All the presses will be over, but there might be some embargoed news that is coming along because there's a lot of issues. People have visited different countries. They will be coming. There will be COVID issues. There will be ban issues. So if you can hold your transfer as long as possible, I think you put yourself in a better chance to attack this particular game week, right? Anything else to add regarding this midfielder discussion, Ranajan? I think
I think
these
the
are the
one
viable
player,
options.
the
Yeah,
viable options, but the one player that a lot of us see that has gone under the radar is Pablo Fornals. He has given a return in each of his three fixtures, and he has just scored for France yesterday. So
yeah.
if you're looking for a West Ham option and you don't want to ride the Benrahma wave, I think Pablo
Not
Fornals is an
France.
option for you.
I think he
For
scored for
Spain,
Spain.
yeah.
So,
Did I say
nah,
France?
but yeah, he said France. Again, I mean, Pablo Fornals I did cover as along with Said Banrama. Just be wary about the fact that
The fixtures.
they do have a tricky run of fixture. Another player we did not actually cover is Mason Mount. Now, Mason Mount, Chelsea have actually a very good fixture in game week 4, considering Emi Martinez will not be playing, and I think Buendia is also. Buendia does not affect the situation much. I think the significant factor is Emi Martinez will not be playing in goal, so it will be, I think, Jets
Against
clear
Lukaku.
against Lukaku and against Chelsea. Now, how we have seen Chelsea set up for this particular period or these 3 game weeks, I think Mount is topping the charts for expected assist, right? And he has already provided 2 or 3 assists, I think, over this period. So he is somebody who is looking prone to get a lot of assists this season. Uh, Saying that I personally don't see myself spending that high an amount of budget on Mount when his goal attacking potential is um, kind of limited because everything will
But he's
probably be
definitely one to keep an eye on, because if Chelsea do get
yeah.
on a run, along with Lukaku and one of their defensive options, he might be Mason Mount might be a cheap midfield option for
Yeah, I
FPL
was
managers.
about to add that since Chelsea have a good run of fixture, I mean, they have a dream run of fixture rather from game week 7. So people will be looking to double up or triple up. And right now, it's not actually clear because if you're thinking of doubling up, I think defensive wise, Reece James is the best option who is again banned for game week 4. But if you are considering that option, I think Mason Mount is somebody, and even Kai Havertz to that extent, who will be playing most of the matches against Chelsea. Right? So 90% of matches I don't see Mount and Kai Havertz not playing. So that is another offensive double up that you can look forward to. Now I understand that these are the, I mean, players to consider if you are looking to remove a BruNO or some midfielder and you're trying to get fit in Ronaldo or Lukaku in your team. So I think I hope this might have helped you. There's a lot of discussion again, Ranajoy. I mean, I'm sure you also have followed regarding as to whether to wildcard or not. So, guys, we have actually extensively covered this in our last pod, wherein we have gone with the templates and we have gone with the reason as to whether to wildcard or not. To summarize it for you guys right now, uh, we as a pod or we all of us, I mean, none of us are wildcarding. We don't feel right now is the correct time to wildcard because it has a lot of unknowns. I mean, first unknown being there is no standout 4.5 million goalkeeper. So whoever we are taking in goalkeeping position again, it might work, it might not work. There is no standout 4.5 million defender in that sense. I mean, sure, Luke Ayling got a goal, but Leeds generally look very leaky. Arsenal, there are a lot of options, but Arsenal have not kept a clean sheet yet. So no 4.5 million solid defensive option barring Eric Dyer, I think, who has also risen
And
recently to
Tanganga
0.6.
also from the same
Uh,
team.
Again, I mean, Tanganga as well. But I think they have signed Emerson Royal, so Royal will be overtaking Tanganga, and I think his days are limited.
That's an
Again, I mean,
interesting factor.
also if you are basing your wildcard to take the big hitter, that if you're basing your wildcard to take big hitters, right now we are not even sure who are the best budget. I mean, we have given you a lot of options of budget midfielder, but who will be those guys who will consistently perform? Because ideally, what you are doing or what you are trying to build a structure in wherein you will be switching your premium assets, right? Because I don't believe anybody is going with 3 or 4 premium assets in their team. So you'll be looking to switch, which basically entails that whoever in the midfield say region, I mean, you're taking in that 5.5, 7.5 bracket, they are assured and they are fixed in your team. So, barring right now probably Antonio and DCL in the forward option, they are set. So you can actually take those guys. But in the midfield, that is also again an unknown. So considering all these unknowns and we generally believe that 3 game weeks data is too small a data to look into. I think personally, and I don't see this as being the correct time to wildcard. If you can get Ronaldo or whoever you're targeting as a premium asset with a hit like a -4 or a -8, I think go for it. If the hit is more than that, then you have to judge whether uh, if the hit is more than that and you're absolutely set on getting in Ronaldo,
I think
then you should wildcard.
it's more
But then
about
you have to also ask yourself the question.
yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry, I lost your voice.
Go ahead, go
I
ahead.
was just about to say that people who are buying Ronaldo, right? Yeah. So you also need to ask yourself the question: would you be captaining him for the next 3 game weeks? Because next game week he has West Ham, and the game week after that he will be facing Aston Villa, wherein Emi Martinez will be coming back. I'm not saying Emi Martinez is unbeatable, but he's a considerable option, and Aston Villa are not that leaky a defense as they used to be. So taking into consideration all these, I mean, move forward with your decision. Again, it's your game; you have to play it. But my personal suggestion, I would not be playing the wild card. What do you think, Ranajoy? Would you be playing the wild card?
I will
Like
not be I will
as
not be
people
playing the
question.
wild card, but I also do not think it's a wrong time to play the wild card. There are certain FPL managers who just like to go for it, and I'm sure that playing a wild card and going on the information that they have received in the last 3 game weeks will give them certain advantages in terms of creating a team. And so, yeah, personally, I'm not playing it, but I also do not think it's the wrong time. And also to counter your point saying, would you captain Ronaldo in the next 3 game weeks? You have to remember it's Ronaldo. It's not just any other player. So Ronaldo is a captaincy option against anyone, and it's not a Man United fan which is speaking here. I do I do believe that Ronaldo is a captaincy option against anyone, especially with the fact that United are looking to play attacking football. So everything will go via
Then
Ronaldo. I think
probably
that is more.
yeah, I do see, but generally I don't see Manchester United blowing away teams left and right. I mean, I'm not talking about the lesser team or the weaker teams, but against considerable opponents, I don't see Manchester United scoring 4 or 5 goals. I mean, that is just my personal opinion. They might, and Ronaldo might change in the entire scenario, but that is to be seen, right?
True, true.
Since you're talking about wildcard, there was an interesting thing on Twitter. I think Joe posted this. He said that the first wildcard in any case is a waste, right? So the major wildcard is actually the second wildcard, which is he termed as the Krellin wildcard. So if people who don't understand what's the Krellin wildcard, there's this guy called Ben Krellin. Go follow him on Twitter. He is the person that you should be considering for your second wildcard because he will be letting you know when the double game weeks, when the blind game weeks are happening. Right? So yeah, that was an interesting term, Krellin wildcard. I do see that thing.
Catching on.
Anyways, moving on. Let's. I think we have spoken extensively about the situation. I think it entails a lot of things. It's not just about Manchester United. It entails wildcard. It entails other players as well. Let's move on to game week 4 fixtures. Right. Let's do a quick preview of this. So the first fixture that we is starting the game week with is Palace against Spurs at Palace's home. So what is the scoreline that you feel uh,
Uh,
going into this game?
I think Spurs would just nick this game 1-2 to Spurs. What do you think, Somnath? Do you agree with me there?
I do see I see, I see Palace scoring. I feel that Spurs have been extremely lucky to keep 3 clean sheets considering their defensive underlying stats. I don't see that trend continuing because it's plainly been Hugo Lloris saving them in all the 3 matches. I do see Palace scoring. They are in a good momentum, but I do see Spurs winning this. So I will go with the score of 2-1 for Spurs. Next, moving on, we have Arsenal against Norwich. I think this might be. I hope I don't think this might be the first victory for Arsenal in the Premier League, and we will be moving ahead of out of the relegation, whatever we are in. I don't see Arsenal. I think probably Arsenal will conference. Go for
Something similar. I do see that with Arsenal's defensive options getting back to getting back from their injuries, like the with the likes of Gabriel Magalhaes. I do see Arsenal keeping a clean sheet. I would say 2-0 to Arsenal, but I would also would not be surprised if Norwich do nick one in. But two.
Yeah, I'm totally hoping for this, that they will eventually score. It's more a hope, guys. I'm an Arsenal fan. It's more a hope that I think Arsenal will keep a clean sheet. Don't put money on
The
this.
next game week
Moving on,
is
next
Brentford
match.
versus Brighton.
Yeah.
I most probably this is the last game I have Tony in my team, so I do hope that Tony scores. I think this is going to be a draw, a scoring draw, 2-2 to Brentford and Brighton. Both teams are doing quite decently, and Brighton are always a team that would like to attack. And with at Brentford's home, I also see them scoring. I would say 2-2 to Brentford, 2-2 in this game. What do you think, Chandra?
Uh, Personally, for me, I think it's a tough game to call, but I would go for a 1-0 win for Brighton. I do see them because since they have lost at their home against Everton, I do see them bouncing back. It's a tough game. I mean, it can be a draw as well, as you said. I think Brighton will get this one. They are defensively pretty solid. Next match is actually the match of the two cities, Leicester City versus Manchester City. So yeah, I will go first. I think Manchester City should be winning this match comfortably. Um, do I see Leicester scoring in this particular match? Probably yes, because they don't have Ederson. So I will go with the scoreline of 3 goals to 1 for Manchester City.
I think for me this is always a tough game. Leicester are always good against Man City, especially at City's home. But this game is at Leicester's home, so obviously Man City start as the favorite. But with certain options missing in Man City's team, and if Leicester do have their defensive options back, with the likes of either Vestergaard or Evans and Pereira back, I see Leicester giving Man City a good fight. Currently, I see I would go for a 1-2 win to Manchester City.
I would also like to add if Ferran Torres is starting, I do see him getting a I do see him being so fit.
Obviously, he's in a good vein of form. There is no reason why he shouldn't
Yeah,
score.
he's a good vein of form. So yeah, I'm just talking for the benefit of Ferran Torres owners who are, if you're considering to sell, I again reiterate, wait
So
for the
why would you
prices.
sell
Although
Ferran
you'll
Torres?
not get
Yes,
much from, yeah, although you'll not get much because there's this doubt again considering the Champions League, right? So people might be looking to move on or they're doing wildcard. I do see if he starts, he should get a goal. Next match is the match that everybody is looking forward to. Is the comeback of Cristiano Ronaldo to Old Trafford. I will let the United fan take and let us know what will be the scoreline first.
I
Manchester
think
United against Newcastle.
3-0 to Newcastle. 3-0 to Manchester United. I'm very sorry. To all my dear Man United supporters, apologies. I think 3-0 to Manchester United would be a good score. I am hoping for more goals, but I'm just trying to be realistic and not trying to jinx it. 3-0 to United, in my opinion. And Ronaldo to score, even if he comes off
Okay,
the bench.
so let me put you in this way. I mean, if it's a 3-0 to United, what do you think is Ronaldo's goal involvement? I mean, goals and assists.
Definitely
Is he?
one. If he starts, I do see him getting involved in two goals. But even if he doesn't start and comes off at least 68 minutes, I do see him scoring one. So Ronaldo will definitely be involved.
So if I have to ask you, like, what do you think is the ceiling for Ronaldo? Because I was just why I'm asking this. I was looking at the stats. I was just checking it around. I was just checking what he has done in the debut match for every club that he has played for, be it Real Madrid, be it Juventus, be it Manchester United as well in the first stint. He has actually never scored in his debut match, and it has taken him uh, almost a month to actually score the first score, and then the floodgates had opened. That might be, and I'm not stating those matches where he was not available for. I'm stating the match that he has actually started. He has not scored in those debut matches. I do genuinely hope for the FPL community that is not the case this time around. But everybody is predominantly people are taking Ronaldo thinking that he will be going to score a brace or a hat trick. Do you see that happening? I was
There is no reason why it can't happen. And while you were asking this question, I was thinking because I was of the option that I will not go with Ronaldo in this game week, and I will stick to BruNO. But maybe I'll change my mind. To answer your question, there is no reason why Ronaldo would not score 2 or 3 goals, even a hat trick. Because simply of the fact that even if you see the last game where Newcastle played at home against Southampton, Southampton has the second highest XG of all the teams. So Newcastle are not in a very rich vein of form at this moment, and Man United at home, the crowd shouting for Ronaldo, things are just made for Ronaldo to score how so many goals he wants. The only thing is
Exactly.
that Newcastle have to stop the first goal from United. If that comes early, it could be a floodgate. But if Newcastle are able to frustrate Man United, uh, that is the
Like
only
Bulls
way
kind of.
they could get some points out of it. Yeah,
No, I don't see that happening particularly. Right? It almost is set up like a movie. Let's see how it actually turns out.
and that is why
Moving
it's
on,
called
the
the
next.
theater, and that is why it's called the theater of dreams. I had to get that in. So yeah, now you can move on.
So, a lot of theater. Yeah. Anyways, the next match is Southampton against West Ham. So this again is a very important match. People who are considering to captain Antonio.
I think this will be a very attacking game because Southampton do like to play this attacking game, and West Ham are West Ham. I wouldn't be
I
surprised if there are more than 4 or 5 goals in this game. Currently, I would say 3-2 to Southampton. I think West Ham is going to have faced the first loss of this season.
defeat.
3-2 to
So
Southampton.
that's a pretty bold call. I do see Southampton scoring again, and this is a scoreline I've been going with a lot. I will go for a 3-1 score to West Ham. I think I've predicted like 3-3 once till now. I don't know what is happening, but I do see, and if Antonio, there's no doubt against Antonio, but he is in a form and he will be involved. Be sure of that. So for people who are
Quickly,
considering Antonio, so yeah.
quickly moving
Next
on to the
match,
next game. Watford versus Wolves. Shomnath, what do you think?
interestingly, I mean, Watford versus Wolves, I think we forgot to cover Sar in the budget midfielder options.
Oh
He
yes,
also, guys, is a very good option. Uh, Good 4 blocks of matches coming up. Um, I do see Watford scoring, but I do see Wolves winning this match and getting their first victory. I will go for 2-1 wins for win for Wolves.
I think Jimenez is one of the players that I'm looking for. If just in case Jimenez is available, I would like to bring him in because I think Jimenez has second highest,
I think he will. He is also
one of the banned players.
moving for ban,
Yeah,
right?
that
Mexico
is
has
the thing
also
I'm
moved
waiting for
for.
the final decision to come out. I think Jimenez has the second highest number of shots in the box or something, some sort of stat like that. So he is getting into the right positions, and also with the fact that he will definitely be on pens, he's intriguing. He's an intriguing option for me. And
Yeah,
just in case he's available
he
for
is
this game week,
bound to score.
just in case he's available, I will consider bringing him in just if I do not get Ronaldo.
Next
Next
match,
is
Chelsea against Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge.
three
I
nil to
say
Chelsea.
three.
Let's not
Same,
discuss.
same. I was also going with exactly the same scoreline. I think 3-0 to Chelsea.
Is
Would
Lukaku
not.
injured? Because there were certain reports that Lukaku might be injured in this game, and he also did not feature for Belgium in the international.
No, he did not feature because of the yellow card thing. So he was basically ineligible to play.
Oh, Lukaku was
And
suspended.
there was not an injury. Lukaku basically said that he had a thigh niggle that he will get checked and then go to Chelsea. So I think just wait for the process. I don't see him missing out. Uh, Moving on, the next match is Leeds against Liverpool. I think in this all this hype, people have actually forgotten about Salah. Guys, Salah is also there. He's a brilliant captaincy option this game week. Will go for a. I will not say 3-1 once again. I will, I will go for a 4-1 scoreline for Liverpool. I do expect it to be very high scoring.
I will go for a 3-2 to either of the teams, Leeds or Liverpool. I do see goals in that. A match involving Leeds always has goals, especially if Rafinha is starting. I will not discount Leeds to get something out of this game. But yeah,
No,
realistically
Rafinha is not
speaking,
starting. Rafinha is banned.
yeah, if that is overturned, obviously I'm still hoping for that because I have Rafinha in my team. So 3-2 lead Liverpool. Sorry, 3-2 to Liverpool.
Yeah, and again, the goal conceding part is due to the fact that Alisson and Fabinho and all these players will not be involved. Had that not been the case, I would have gone for a clean sheet, but I do see them actually conceding.
Personally, as a Man United fan, I hope that Man United have sold Daniel James at the right time, just before the Liverpool game, so that Ole has given some special instructions to him, and he can give some score some against Liverpool. So fingers crossed.
At least let's wait for him to start first with Leeds.
Now, if Rafinha
Last
doesn't
match of
start, I do see him starting.
Yeah, he should.
He should.
Last match of the game week is Everton against Burnley at Goodison Park. I think Everton will keep a clean sheet. I see a 2-0 for Everton.
With you there, 2-0 to Everton. DCL and Richarlison on the scoreline.
Sure. So that's about our preview, what we feel will happen. Quickly, Ronja, I'll pose you a question, right? So these are the fixtures, and considering if you have all of them, the captaincy options for this game week are Antonio, Salah, uh, DCL, Lukaku, and Ronaldo. So in a scenario where all of them are there, who would you actually go ahead and captain, and
Very
why?
tough choice. Very tough choice. If I have Ronaldo, I will straight away go for Ronaldo. There is no other option.
The
Ronaldo at
reason
home.
being,
At home. Sorry.
I mean, who would you captain and why? The reason.
The Ronaldo at home against Newcastle. Even the stats say that uh, Newcastle are bound to,
True. Yeah, they are quite
bound to
lenient.
get concede a lot of goals. So if you have Ronaldo, just straight away start him, captain him. But if you do not have Ronaldo and you are confused between Antonio, Salah, Lukaku, I think the safest option is Salah because Aston Villa has a good defense. They might frustrate Chelsea. There is the option. There is always the chance there, but obviously Chelsea are the European champions, so the probability is quite less. But Leeds and Liverpool has to be goal scoring. There is no other way that this match can go. So for me, it's either Ronaldo or Salah.
For me, I think we often talk about form and fixture, right? So for me, it is very hard to overlook Mikel Antonio as a captain option, mainly because he has form and he also has the fixture. So he has the highest XG as well. So I don't see a world wherein Mikel Antonio will not be in points this game week. In saying that, if I would have had Ronaldo, and if I'm not captaining, then I think there is no point in actually owning Ronaldo. Uh, Personally, if I'll have to go, I probably right now would be uh, leaning towards Lukaku. I think
Fair enough. I
mainly
think
for the fact that Emi Martinez is not playing, and I think
Lukaku is an obvious choice. I'm just assuming or I'm just speculating about the fact that Aston Villa might come up with one of those performances. The only
yeah,
reason I
I
went for
mean
Salah is that even if Leeds play well, they will play. They will have to win by scoring goals. They will not be keeping a clean sheet and winning against Liverpool. So that was my reason for Salah over the others.
he can actually be differential for a lot of people. I'm sure Salah will be the most captain overall, but if we talk about the Twitter sphere and the Twitter community, I think Salah will be a considerable differential considering everybody is captain Ronaldo or probably Antonio, right? Uh, okay, so that's about captaincy from us. Moving on to differential and clean sheet choice. Anshan is unfortunately not here. He's running the contest in that sense. Uh, Ranajoy, by the way, if you don't know, you are losing this particular contest. Me and Anjan are
Yeah, I
both
know that.
tied for 2 points, and you have not actually selected one single differential picks correctly, right?
Why
So,
didn't Armstrong give an assist in the last game?
yeah, I think Armstrong did. So, I don't know
So
why
I
he
oh
has sent me as, yeah, that's,
he's cheating. He's cheating.
yeah, I
Deduct
think
one
Anjan
point
is
from him. Anjan's a
Anjan is
cheat.
cheating to win, right? So, who's your differential pick for this particular game, Ranajoy?
I think Jimenez and Traore, one of them has to be my differential pick. Uh,
I think you have picked Traore, and for clean sheet you are taking Everton, right?
and
You
Burnley,
have
like
gone.
I said, 2-0. Everton are not conceding a lot of chances. Burnley doesn't look to be scoring that many, especially away from home. So I think Everton should be a good option for this game week if you're looking for a clean sheet.
I have actually backed. I mean, this mostly emotion driven. I have gone for Arsenal clean sheet, and for differential, I have gone with Islami Hassan. I do have a feeling about his this game.
I think Islamia Sar is a very good option because if Watford score, there is a high probability that he will be involved. The only problem is that Watford wouldn't score many, but that is the chance that you're
Yeah,
taking with Sar.
yeah. So if you are looking for a 1 week punt, and I don't even feel that he's a 1 week punt. He has a good block of
No, he's
fixtures.
not. He has a good round of fixtures, yes.
Yeah.
But
So
with so many
that
options available, you're bound to get confused. You're bound to look at other options. You're bound to sulk if your player doesn't do well.
true. So let's move on to our teams and our transfer planning, Ranajan. So I think let's bring your team first to our screen. If you can read it out for the benefit of our listeners.
So I currently have Sanchez in the goal, Shaw and Alexander starting. I currently have Eiling as one of my starters, but I do think that I'll bring Simicas in uh, just because of the fact that he might start and get a clean sheet. I am also waiting for the news on Rafinha to understand what to do. I have no option. I am not considering transferring out Rafinha even if he doesn't play. But then just in case he doesn't play, I will have to have an extra option. Currently on the bench, I have Simicas, Livramento, and Gilmore, who I do think will give me 90 minutes. Each of those three will give me 90 minutes. I'm not sure about Simicas, but Livramento and Gilmore should give me 90 minutes. Obviously, the bigger of the two problems is that I currently have Bruno Fernandes and Inks. I will be removing Inks, and I am looking to move Inks to Jimenez. But just in case I get swayed away with the Ronaldo fever, I will do Fernandes to one of the midfield options that we talked about, most probably Adama Traore, and I will go for Inks to Ronaldo and Captain Ronaldo. So there is a lot of
So you
options for me.
have one FT, right? You have one
I have
free
one
transfer.
FT. I have one FT. If I have
Would
to
you
bring in
be
Ronaldo, I will
able?
have.
Would you be
Sorry.
able to watch the match of United without Ronaldo in your
I
team?
will watch. I will watch any United game anyway. So let's not get into that. But even with Fernandes playing, I do expect him to be involved in the game. I'm not. The reason I am having the heart to go with Bruno Fernandes is that Bruno should start, and and I do think Ronaldo might not start. And a 90-minute Bruno Fernandes is always preferable to a 30-minute Cristiano Ronaldo. But it all depends on what I am thinking on that day.
So
And if I do get,
if you're not getting in Ronaldo, who is your captain? Bruno.
I think Salah,
Yeah, I mean he's definitely a viable option. Uh,
and
I
then I'll
mean,
be trembling in fear. But when Man United play, even if all the rest of the world has someone captain, I don't care. I just want them to win. So it's a win-win situation for me.
let's look at my team. I have got one free transfer. Goalkeeper again, same Sanchez, and I'm playing currently. As you see, I am playing four at the back. I think this will be changing. My defenders are Shaw, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Shane Duffy, and Ben White. Midfield is Greenwood, Benrahma, Salah, Son, and forward I have DCL and Antonio. So now I'm a bit confused because I have one FT, but I'm pretty much sure I will be taking, if DCL is fit, I will be taking a -8. If not, probably a -4. For me, Barnes really has to go because he is not providing me with any option. I would ideally like to change my forward formation. So I would like to change my actual team structure and I'll move to a 3-4-3. So I'm looking to upgrade Scarlett to uh, either Ronaldo or Lukaku or somebody in that range. Right?
Scarlett would be so happy to hear that. You're
Yeah. So to facilitate that, I right now Sun is showing as an injury doubt. I don't believe that he'll be an injury doubt. I think he'll be playing. But then again, as we have seen Sun play getting out of games, so they won't be like the Jose's team that we were seeing where they were scoring 4 goals, 5 goals. They are more about containment, and they also have a lot of fixture coming up. So I don't see, although Sun have been involved quite heavily and he served me well, I think I will be dropping him. And this is not due to I have doubts that he'll play, but I will be again moving. Preferably, I think almost certainly I will be moving for Diego Jota. So I want to attack that run, and I think a lot of people will be in position like you where they have Sinicas and they'll not be going for that downgrade. I think that's an advantage I can look to. Uh, I'm not actually sold about Ronaldo totally. To be very honest, I am actually preferring Lukaku over him right now. People might be thinking it's a very strange spot that nobody is actually getting in Ronaldo. I thought you will be at least getting Ronaldo. When you're not sure that you're getting Ronaldo. Me
Yes.
generally, the reason I'm not getting Ronaldo in is I understand all the nostalgia and the fan tour and everything, but eventually I do believe that he is coming essentially into a new team. It's not the same team that he left back then. So they have a system to play and they have time to gel together. I mean, Ronaldo is magic, I understand, but the entire team needs to be magic and gel together. So I personally think it would be odd for Ole to start Ronaldo. I think it would be better for him to ease in. And in that sense, I do see him probably scoring 1 goal, but I don't see him scoring an hat trick. So I'm 70-30 as of now. Might be swayed, might also get into the hype and buy Ronaldo. So I'm not sure. So what do you suggest? Should I be going for Ronaldo or going for Lukaku? If I'm getting in Lukaku, I'll be captain.
If you're going for a -8 and a -4, I do believe that you should bring in Ronaldo. Ronaldo is going to start. But having said that,
If he performs exceedingly well, I will have enough in my bank to actually switch Lukaku to Ronaldo, who does not have two great fixtures after this. So for this particular fixture, I think I favor Lukaku more than Ronaldo. That is the plan.
again, we have to. I think you should wait to hear if we
Yeah,
get
I will wait.
certain news about if Ronaldo is going to start. Because if Ronaldo is going to start, it's a no-brainer. My only point is, will he start or will he not? I'm just trying to gamble on that, but I will wait till the last moment to understand.
For
Or
me, it is also actually a budget thing. So if I do get Jota, I don't think I can afford Ronaldo. I can only afford Lukaku. If
so then,
I have to,
in that case, it becomes easy for you because you are sold on Jota. So
yeah,
if you are
because
bringing in Jota,
my other option was if I would have got Ronaldo, I think I could have gone up till Ferran Torres. But right now, considering all the factors that we talk about Ferran Torres, I'm not really sure about as to whether to go for him or not. Uh, so that's something to look at, and probably then I'll look to downgrade to Traore or Sar or somebody like that. So yeah, it's to be seen, right? So yeah, that's about it. I'm still confused. I will, as usual, I'll post my team on Twitter. I do it every game week before deadline. Thank you guys for watching. I mean, whoever, I think, I hope you guys took something from this particular pod, right? Do like or subscribe if you like what we do and like our content. I see a lot of people actually viewing, but please ensure that you do hit that like button, guys. It helps us, you know, be found by other managers as well on YouTube, right? And that's about it for me, guys. Ronju, you want to add anything else?
no, I mean, you've covered most of it. Thank you for listening in. I hope we have at least not added to to your worry. We have given you hopefully we have given you certain pointers, which is going to help you decide your team for this game week. And yes, if you like the content, please do hit the like button. That will really help us grow the channel and to obviously get in more subscribers also. So I think that would really help us. Thank you.
Yeah, I would like to add. I mean, it's not our target to actually do it monetizing or something like that. It's out of basically the love for this game that we are doing it. We would actually absolutely appreciate your feedback if you think that we can do something differently. Right? You can find both of us on Twitter. We're pretty much active on Twitter, so I would love some feedbacks in the comment or anything. If you guys want to look at our Gameweek 3 review and wildcard discussion extensively, again, as I said, the link will be in the description. Right, so do check it out before the next international break again comes back to haunt us. Have green arrows, guys, and good luck and have a great game week. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.